This is my 14th year to participate at KBIS with Cosentino, and I could not be more delighted to be a part of this amazing community and partnership with all of you, and of course with the NKBA and KBIS. Cosentino North America is a company that, if you don't know, we're a surface company, and we have a manufacturing facility, and our corporate headquarters are in Almeria, Spain. Small town in the southeast of Spain. And many of you in this industry have actually had the opportunity to come with us and visit our headquarters and visit our family. It's a family-owned business. We started about 25 years ago with a few of us at Cosentino North America, and now I'm proud to say there's 2,000 employees just in the US and about 4,500 worldwide. Our priority and the heart of our company is all about being in touch with the kitchen and bath community, and that is how we began our business. The designers is the love that we have for design, and the designers are really what constitutes our company. We're all about partnerships, and that's why this particular panel for us was so special, because we believe wholeheartedly that being a strong partner in this industry is what makes us great. You guys, as designers and as partners, bring so much to the table, and we learn from you every day. We're a company that's all about people, and that's why we're still a family business. And I've learned so much from not just the design community, but also all of the industry partners that we work with and that we associate our brand with. So for that, I also want to say thank you. We have a new Cosentino Design Alliance with 6 designers that we have chosen to be part of this new concept. We used to call it the Silestone Trend Spotters. Now it's the Cosentino Design Alliance, and it is 5 really great designers from across the country that are working with us in bringing design and collaborating with us with new color innovation, as well as all of our different applications. And I won't bore you with more about our company, with the exception of, in case you don't know, our brands are Silestone, which is a quartz, and then Decton, which is ultra compact surface, and Sensa Granite. Those are our 3 brands. We are located in the north side. Did I say that again? The north side. If you just keep walking till the end of the show, that's where we're at. And we would love to have you come and visit the booth and see what the innovation that all of our new colors and all of the new applications that we have brought to you. We have one program that's called We by Cosentino that we're launching. And if you are someone that works with our brands and would like to know more about it, we'd love to get you signed up. It's a program that connects through our digital platform, an opportunity for designers to feel more connected with Cosentino, order samples, be in touch with us, and most important, that we bring you business and leads. And then you can make a little bit of extra cash, too. So no one can say no to that. And now with that, I get the opportunity to do a little bit of 2 hats this morning. So for that, I'm extremely excited and honored. I'd like to move on at this time with our panel. I get to introduce the panel, but I also get to be a part of it. Like I said, it has a little bit to do with the fact that for us at Cosentino, it's all about brand partners. So first of all, who better to moderate this panel than our dear friend Maddie O'Malley, who I would like to introduce from Architectural Digest, the international authority of design dedicated to covering the best design in the world. So please welcome Maddie O'Malley. Thank you, Maddie. And then if I could please have my fellow panelists. I'll start with Nar Bustamante, Andrew Hayes, Neil Bailey, Michael Berman, and Khavita Katari. Thank you very much. Whoops, sorry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to KBIS. Welcome to the next stage. My name is Maddie O'Malley, and I am the market editor for Architectural Digest. And we are here today to talk about the power in partnerships, which is so exciting. Before we do that, I just want to mention that we have a colleague here, Devone, in the back, who's with AD Pro, which is our digital trade-focused platform. And if you're not already a member, feel free to see Devone afterwards and check in with him and chat about AD Pro. Okay, so we are here to talk about power and partnerships, and we're so excited. So we've got some amazing duos here who all represent a different definition of partnership. So I think we should just have everybody go ahead and talk about themselves and give an introduction of who you are. So Nar, I'll start with you.
All right, thank you. My name is Nar Bustamante from Sacramento, California. The founder of Nar Design Group. And I've been very blessed to, over the years, work with such incredible projects, products, people. And one of the most important things in developing partnerships is that businesses don't do business with businesses. People do business with people. And so at the core of partnership is a relationship. And so we'll get into that further. Thank you.
Well, I introduced myself again. So for those that just arrived, my name is Maddie Dominguez, and I am the Vice President of the Commercial and Residential Business for Cosentino, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Michael Berman. I'm the Principal Designer for Michael Berman Limited. We are an interior design and product design company in Los Angeles, and I am honored to be one of the designers that have a collection with the House of Rohl.
Hi, I'm Khavita Katari. I'm the Director of Marketing and Innovation for the House of Rohl US, and I'm really happy to be here. I look forward to a great discussion.
Hi, I'm Neil Bailey. I'm President for Cabbonet. It's a British brand. You probably guessed from my accent I am English, though I've lived here for 7 years. Have many years of experience with brands such as Pog and Pole as CEO for the US. Very happy to be here representing Cabbonet, a British brand.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Hayes. I'm the founder of Cabbonet and creative director and founder of our team, who's the innovation house for Cabbonet, which is a London-based design business. And Neil and I are a duo.
Okay, great. So to kick things off, I think we should all chat about how we first met or connected. So Nar, would you like to talk about how you and Patty kind of came to be and how this partnership came to be?
Absolutely, thank you. Patty's a dear friend of mine now, so have to be careful what I say.
Yeah, keep
right?
it clean,
Yeah,
Nar.
keep it
Just
clean.
kidding.
So, as a designer, working on many projects, I was fortunate to meet Patty. I think it's been about 7 years ago now, and it was an alliance from the heart of having so much in common, just in plain conversation. Decton at that point was coming out on the market, and I saw it as such an amazing product that it's where I became bonded with the idea of everything that I could do with this product. But the product alone is something that's difficult to understand unless you have somebody that is telling you this is what our product is all about. The relationship, the partnership begins of making a union, of understanding this is what I do and this is what you do, and we need each other to do this together. So I incorporated Decton in the early days, and Cosentino and Patty really supported everything that I did from that day on, and I'm sure we'll get into that further. But we met a long time ago in Spain, and I went to the factory, and I realized in that moment, this is such an incredible product, and it's rare that I see innovation happen where it really changes the platform of what I'm doing. It's not the everyday using the same materials, the same products. It became a very important inheritance to this is what I want to do to change what I do, so it it's forward moving, and I really enjoyed working with Cosentino and Patty to understand the product and develop the idea that now it's an incredible product that a lot of people know about. And I was fortunate to be kind of in the grassroots of it all, where I began producing a lot of projects before I think the product even hit market, to just see what it could do. And so we'll get into that further. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Nar and I met, as I do. I have the opportunity to meet so many designers, and some of you that are actually sitting here and recognize familiar faces. And we brought him to Spain. And, one thing that I will say is Nar had a dream. He told me he was going to do the most amazing showroom. He told me he was going to use Dekton in all of his projects. And before Dekton really launched, and he did, and he actually has the first project that we've ever had in North America was done by Nar in Sacramento with a fabricator who resisted to work with Dekton at the time, and he introduced him to him, and we helped him get through it. So it was kind of love at first sight.
Nice.
Well, my story about how I actually became aligned with the House of Rohl is a bit interesting. I won't say how many years ago it was, because it was over 10, which means I started it when I was 12. But many years ago, I was introduced to the Rohl family by a mutual colleague who was also in our industry. And I had, at that point, parlayed my interior design business into designing products for our industry: furniture, lighting, textiles, ceramic tile and stone. So all of the products that I had a passion for that go into building a home or building a commercial project. And so going into plumbing fixtures was kind of a natural progression for me. It was like the next step. And I was introduced to the Rohl family. And one of the things that I take into consideration when I'm about to embark on a new alliance with another company is, do we see eye to eye on a lot of the same attributes to products? And it was about quality. It was about the relationship, like Nar said, with people. They're just a lovely, wonderful family and group of people to work with. And we did see eye to eye on exactly what we wanted to achieve. And for me and for Rohl, that was about creating a product for the luxury kitchen and bath industry that would stand out, become unique and original, and at the same time have serious application. So I met with the Rohl people. It was really a wonderful experience. They had confidence in me. I ended up going to Italy, which is, and visiting one of their factories, and seeing the technology so that I could design the product backwards, hopefully creating something that they would be able to manufacture easily enough and not make it too challenging for them. And I fit all of those bills very easily, and they took a big chance on me, and we launched the first collection many years ago, which was called Zephyr, and then the second collection, which was called Gotham, and now we've launched this new collection, which is called Graceline, doing extremely well, and I'm very proud of it. And at KBIS now, we just launched the kitchen faucet of Graceline. So I'm just honored. It was a great experience, and I'm very fortunate to be aligned with them.
I just want to, so I'm relatively new to the House of Rohl, and I inherited the relationship with Michael, and I think it's been really wonderful. So House of Rohl, I don't know how many of you know of the House of Rohl. Ooh, look at you, I'm so impressed. So the House of Rohl, really, we are a house of 5 brands, and each brand has a very distinctive personality. So Rohl brand, we're very proud to manufacture in Italy. We work with other designers as well that are Italian. So it's all about handcrafted, hand-sculpted, beautiful finishes. And the Grace line is one of our most popular collections because I think there is a depth to that design that I think bodes inspiration from Michael's love for the deco era. I think he's going to mention it because this man is so passionate about the golden age of film that it reflects in the product itself. And we do work with, so we've got 5 brands. Our main brand is Rohl. We have Victoria and Albert. How many know Victoria and Albert? Beautiful, like beautiful tubs. So we work with another set of designers to build those beauties. We have Riobel, which is a relatively new brand. It's very modern, very minimalistic. Really, our focus there is like we're designing it for a plumber, making it very easy to install. We've got Perrin and Rowe, which is a British brand. And again, handcrafted, hand-sculpted, beautiful finishes. So for us, it's all about partnerships. And we value, I think Nar said it very well, people work with people, and it's really at the end of the day, it's all about the chemistry between the two people that results in some amazing product. I mean, how many of you are designers? Would you guys agree with that statement? Yes? I want to hear yeses, not just nods. Okay, good. So it really is all about chemistry is what, we've discovered. And I think we're going to do some great things together as we move forward as well. So I'm going to hand it off to you.
My journey very much began with Andrew Hayes, at the Fourth Wall launch for Pog and Pole in London. I took a group of designers and partners from the US to witness something that was literally extraordinary for me. It was an experience, a concept called the Fourth Wall, which was theatrical. I'm sure Andrew will talk more about it, but it introduced me to an experience I never had with kitchens. It actually touched creative things within me that I'd not noticed before. But that was the start of the journey. Since there was an absolute media storm, and I've witnessed Andrew since then, not being a designer, but beginning to be a real brand creative, and consequently now a CEO that I'm very, very pleased to have daily dialogue and constant collaboration and working with. An extraordinary journey. We formalized our partnership somewhat 14, 15 months ago with the launch of Cabbonet. It was at a time where I was certainly looking for something different, and Andrew provided the inspiration, and we've been having a fantastic time ever since. So that's brought us here today, and very proud that though I'm someone that focuses very much on delivery of service and operation, with time and working with Andrew with his creativeness, I couldn't go backwards anymore. I have to be part of something that is truly inspirational and design-led. I can look at a cabinet company now and see 4 pieces of chipboard with a door thrown on it. That's not what Cabbonet is. And that's why I'm very proud to work with you, Andrew.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, as Neil said, our collaboration started. I've had a bit of an unusual journey because I'm an architect and then went into live performance design, designing sets and costumes for the Royal Opera House, Rennie di Verona in Italy, Chicago Opera, various opera companies, and then sort of had a bit of a departure from that and created a concept for Pog and Pole in 2010, I think it was. No, it was 15, wasn't it? Yeah. And created a concept that sort of called the Fourth Wall concept, referencing my theatrical experience. And from that point, moved on. Neil and I have continued to cross paths, whether it's me bringing him in or the other way around. So after I departed Pog and Pole, I went to become creative director of Smallbone, which is a more classic British brand that is quite big in New York. And Neil came over there and became president and CEO of Smallbone US. So we worked together with me as creative and brand director, and he is president and CEO of one of the biggest markets outside the UK for that brand. And then after leaving there, I founded another brand called Lansering, which some of the designers in the room might have heard of, a British brand. Sold that quite quickly, and then we reconnected on Cabbonet. So in a different capacity, because I had this vision for Cabbonet that was forming and needed someone, who I had a long-standing trust and relationship with, and the brand was born really. So early in the journey, but yeah. And as a business that's unlike many kitchen businesses, we are creatively founded, and it's like we had this this description of our relationship being this creative energy where everything from the paperwork to the order process, everything looks and feels good. And Neil's just been working with me to, enhance the experience of everything and make it real, So, yeah, so that's where we started in our basic journey. So
I think I very much look upon this as almost Andrew's creativity and vision is an explosion, and it creates this wonderful explosion that has touch points all around it, but each of those touch points can give different experiences, and we have to make sure all those experiences are in line with the brand vision. So that's my job, whether it be written communication, whether it be responding to a phone call, whenever. It's about delivering what the brand needs.
Great.
thanks.
So Andrew and Neil sort of just touched on this, but I'd love to hear how your relationships have evolved since you've been working together, and if there's anything that maybe surprised you about working together, working with a designer, somebody who maybe wasn't used to, that kind of thing.
I can elaborate on that quite a bit. When I first started working with Decton, you feel a little bit lonely in that, am I the first to do this? Is this going to create hardship in my company? And am I going to be supported? And so part of a great partnership and alliance and working with different people is knowing that you both need each other. And you both need to really, for the better of the industry, for the better of the whole purpose of why we're designing and building products and doing designs, is we want a good outcome. And so with Decton, like Patty said, when I first introduced it to my fabricator, he wanted to run away from me so fast. And he did. Actually, he kind of initially said, I'm not going to work for you. No way. I'm not doing this. And so he jumped into it, and he was right. This is a nightmare. This doesn't work. I'm not doing this for you. And I'm the one that said, no, we have to do this. There's this amazing factory in Spain. I've seen it. I've talked to all the developers. I look at my project. I really want to use this as part of what we do. I'm going to incorporate this, so you're going to have to somehow find a way to do this with me, and we'll find the support for you. And he did. He actually reached out to Cosentino himself, ended up investing, I don't want to say a number, but a huge amount of money. He recently in Mexico, we were at a conversation there, and he said, we invested like the value of everybody's homes in the company to put machinery into his fabrication shop to work with this product. And at this point, it has so much incredible momentum that if fabricators are not investing, they're being left behind. And so this is the power of partnerships. We all work together to say there is a product out there we believe in. It's improving the industry, and it's being so well embraced that I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity from early on to jump into this and say, let's have a partnership. Let's build this together, and let's just see what happens. And it's a beautiful thing.
And I'll add to one thing. When all of this began, we learned one important thing at Cosentino, and that was because the fabricators needed help, the designers started to invest in it and to specify it. So we invested in bringing a team of people that would work with the designers and the fabricators in helping your dreams come true into your project. So what we did with NARS specifically was we sent a team from Spain to work with his fabricator and help them through the project. But to answer your question about is there anything that's happened that's made you kind of wow, I can say that. So 7 years ago, NAR said, I want my showroom to be a Decton showroom, a Cosentino showroom only. He opened his showroom this last year, and just now at KBIS won Showroom of the Year for this year. So Showroom of the Year in Sacramento, and it's all Decton, and I think that just shows a phenomenal way of how we collaborated with our products and with such a great designer.
And it's a new vision. I've had various showrooms over the years, but I wanted to take something, speaking of partnerships, create a showroom that is not like anything we've really seen before, where there's vignettes and kitchen after kitchen, and it's really more a meeting place. Again, we're creating brand partnerships. With my clients, we're creating relationship partnerships. And so it's more of a conference room, an elevated architectural space for a partnership with our clients. And that translates to the partnership that we have with the brands that are representing what we do.
Fantastic. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
I sort of have a little bit different perspective on the way that we work together. Not necessarily specifically with the House of Rohl, but because I have license agreements with various other companies, and I've been doing this for quite a while, have numerous license agreements. As a designer, it's really interesting. You, as I'm sure many of you can relate to, you have got so many ideas swarming around your head. You're in the industry, you're exposed to so many different things, and you're always sort of torn between wanting to follow a trend that's very popular and successful, or actually creating something that might be a little bit unusual, might be in a slightly different direction. And when you work with different companies as a partner for product design, you also understand that there's different art departments, there's different people that you have to create, like you say, relationships with in different parts of the world, different parts of the country. And so it's very important that you maintain these kind of personal relationships with all of your alliances and understand that they don't all work exactly the same way. So my feeling, and my biggest word, and I use it for almost everything I do in life, is called flexible, being flexible, and understanding that we're sort of honored to be in an industry that creates beauty and luxury and products that give people so much happiness. Like Khavita mentioned that she was relatively new and she inherited me with House of Rohl. Thank God she adopted me. But it's an interesting process when you work with various companies and you go through different regimes, and you know that you've got longevity with them because your product has been successful and you're working with them, but it's often slightly a challenge to, start a completely new relationship. But that's something that I really strive for, and as Khavita can probably attest, I love working with individuals from a company that have a different insight into what niche in their business is missing a particular product. That's something that I want to fulfill for them. I want to design a product that fits into their portfolio of products, but might be something that they're slightly lacking in. And likewise, I'm sure they look at me as someone that's in the industry that hopefully has some insight into the designer, architect trade. And with me, I'm sort of a all-encompassing type of designer because I do personal projects as well. So I've got my fingers in a lot of different pies, and I'm on both sides of the table, the drafting table, so to speak. Yeah. So I offer them information, they give me information, and together we create a really great duo.
Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting. Brands evolve over time, just like design trends evolve, right? Like, so Rohl as a brand, I want to specifically mention, was very traditional focused, and we've transitioned based on market needs, based on where we see design trends go, finish trends go, and so you bring up a really important point in terms of evolution. It's if we don't evolve together, it's like any relationship, right? If you don't grow together and you don't learn together and you don't evolve together, somebody gets left behind. So it's a very, very key aspect of the relationship. And again, it all boils down to communication, right? Are we communicating regularly? Do we know, do I know what's on Michael's mind? Does he know where we want to take the brand? And then therefore, are we evolving together to get to the next level of where we want to take the brand? That, in my mind, is the most critical piece of a design partnership. Because if a designer feels that they are very good at this one thing and may not believe in the direction, there's this crack that happens in the relationship, and then what comes out of that has no chemistry, it has no longevity. So I do believe that's a very important piece of the puzzle. At least what I've discovered for us is this whole piece of just building the relationship together, and this communication where you both understand where we want to head to, and therefore we're designing to that.
Amazing.
Great.
You guys want to touch on that a bit too?
Yeah, I think on this one, I'd very much like to defer to Andrew, which is not an unusual thing at times. But our relationship is very different in some ways to the rest of the panelists here, because Andrew is both the designer and the brand creator and owner. So whereas we collaborate very closely, he is a powerhouse of both vision and creation and design. So I'll skip this one, Andrew.
For me, I find something that's evolved a lot is when Neil and I started working together in this current iteration. The most interesting thing I've seen is his growth on the logistics operations side, understanding and appreciative creative detail, and product from someone who's been in the kitchen industry for...
Don't say how long.
25 years. Seeing him begin to appreciate and actually learn to speak and communicate creatively as well. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges in any business is, we're 14, 15 months old, but in any business is understanding and having a vision before anyone else has it, and then getting them on board and speaking ahead of where you are now to try and bring them with you. And Neil's, that hasn't been such a problem actually. He's, for an old guy, he's adapted fast. Sorry.
Ouch, Neil.
Okay.
I'm sitting on this side.
So we have a few of your joint projects that we can actually take a look at, and we're going to have each of you talk a little bit about them specifically. So Nar, Cosentino, we'll start with you.
All right. Okay, so... did I...
Oh,
I don't think I did anything there. It's just going.
they're moving on a loop. We can talk about
I'll
general
just talk about it. And
projects as
so-
we see them come through.
Yeah. So part of my initial... Oh, you're moving. There you go.
Hold on. I think we've got control of this.
I can't talk this fast.
One moment.
I'm
Go for it.
Here
No,
we go.
you can do it.
So part of my initial exploration with Decton and this partnership is what can it do? So it wasn't just keep business as usual mode. It was let's disturb the design table. Let's see what else is out there in capabilities. So I went out of my way to make things incredibly difficult and mitered and waterfalled and puzzling together and hang it on a wall and hang it on, I was just looking for every possibility, mostly to give my fabricator the most difficult time of his life, but he was so well supported by the Cosentino group, Patty, that anytime we made a phone call in the process, we're having an issue with this. I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work. How am I going to hang slabs on a wall high up where the clients could still be safe year after year? And so it was just a continuous conversation that created these beautiful projects, and also to the perseverance of not just me, but everybody on both sides of the team, the Cosentino group and my design staff, one of which was sitting right here a little bit ago. So just kind of pulling our hair to exploit the product to everything it's capable of. And so far, it has been more capable in every sense, indoor, outdoor, and for every use that I ever imagined. And one of the best things about design is design has to be exciting for the client. It has to tell a story. It has to be something that we all can relate to. And so one of the first things I remember doing with a slab of Decton is creating a meal. It was fish and salad and a barbecue and outdoor and wine, and and we served our meal right on the table, no plates. And the conversation took off where, well, what if the vinegar on the salad dressing gets on the countertop, and what about the salmon? And we just had the most fantastic union as whoever was at that table, I don't recall, but that's what design is about. That's what partnerships are about. It's about making the story of life better. It's about improving people's lives. Our lives we need to be happy in designing. We need to be supported with our partners, and that's what this is all about. So I'm going to pass it on here to Patty.
Well, the only thing I'll add to that, as far as the projects, the fireplace that you guys saw there was that first project that I talked about. And I remember when NAR told us he was going to do this, and then it got published, and it was not that one, but the other fireplace. Yeah.
Sorry.
The one. No, that's okay. I know it's hard to maneuver, but anyway, that one. And it was one of those where we had to send someone out to help them with the fabricator, and the fabricator explained that it was difficult to do, but again, it was kind of that cutting edge. Let's see what this material really can do because of it being able to withstand heat, and because of the ability for it to be horizontal and vertical, specifically with the large slabs. So very exciting projects that we got to do together.
Yeah, it has a 3/16 gap between each slab, and it's got a line. You can't see it in the photograph, but it has a lime green background to that, and it had to be just really precise. And we also floated and mitered the hearth there, and that also lines up with things. So it was an incredibly complex. It looks very simple, but it's incredibly complex. And the big slabs on the wall are actually mitered into the walls that return. It's scribed to the floor, and so it was initially almost more than we can all chew here. We were all scratching our heads a lot, but it was very successful. And this is what let us know we're onto something, and we're not going to stop. We're going to continue this.
Yeah, and I'll just say that for us, disrupting is key. You guys as designers have such amazing vision, and we hope that our material allows you to work with that, with your vision, that you can bring to life in something that is not, an opportunity that you can bring it to life. The fabricators don't like that so much, but we are okay with that once it actually comes true. And as far as having that opportunity for partnership with projects like that made it all come to life. So
and in partnerships too, it's everything that all the chaos that is created in the background with people that are willing to work with me and believe in the dream and really stand by my side and stand by the side of everything that's happening. I want to give a quick, Ashley Richardson, could you please stand up? So she's one of the people behind my team that She was a 30 under 30 a while back, and now is just a rock star on my team. And the dedication that it just requires of team effort to pull these projects off and to create really solid relationships. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, Michael, this slide has been teased a few times.
Yes,
Here
but
we
it's still
go.
fresh. I see that.
Still fresh.
Okay. What we're looking at here is.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Apologize.
Here I am again. Okay, still
Bit
fresh.
finicky.
Okay. Yep.
We've got it.
Yes, teaser. Okay, so this happens to be an image of what I would consider the one of my favorite products that I've ever designed. This is Graceline. It's a dial handle that we have come up with for a lav set. It comes with a complete lav and shower package. The thermostatic control handle is amazing. It's an enlarged version of that. But the inspiration behind this, as Khavita was saying, is sort of emanating from my passion of earlier 20th century design. I love the era of luxury ocean liners, luxury automobiles, the Art Deco era. If you think about the emerging of skyscraper design in America, it's the 1930s, 1940s. I do love many different eras, but that one resonates to me the most because it really speaks about luxury and pampering yourself and all of those personal items that, like vanity trays, or, for example, the dial handles on this particular design are inspired by beautiful or handsome perfume bottles, the stoppers or the apothecary tops for really wonderful perfume or cologne bottles of that era. Also, what's really interesting is there are 4 elements that I'd like to think of every time I design a product. There's the tactile, there's the visual, there's the form, and then there's also the application. And those are my 4 tenets for designing a successful product. With this particular product, one of the things that makes it so tactile and so wonderful is the fact that it has beautifully executed thumb and finger impressions that are just divoted into the hand dial. So it's beautifully arced, and then there's a perfect place for your thumb and forefinger to turn the dial hot or cold. And if you have wet hands, it really comes in handy. And those are just subtle details that Rohl was able to execute with this. This is the kitchen faucet for Graceline that we're introducing at this market. This almost comes out of the machine age era, and what's really beautiful is the knurling detail, which also repeats on the Graceline dial lav set. But if you see, there's a tapered lever handle and a pull-down spray integrated into the gooseneck faucet. And they have a knurling detail, so they're really wonderfully executed and tactile. And what's great about this piece is the new finish that we're offering it in, which is a matte black and a satin gold finish, which I find has become extremely popular. It is, again, it's like the jewelry in a kitchen. It brings in a lot of different aspects from the home, light fixtures, accessories, all kinds of gold and brass furniture that people are using.
It's so
I think,
beautiful.
What's that?
Sorry, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And there's a detail of the knurling around the escutcheon. So that's what I'm most proud of with the House of Rohl right now in terms of products.
Yeah. And that's really what the Rohl brand stands for. If you haven't visited our booth, come visit us. We're in the North Hall, right behind Moen and Kohler. And you can see so we have a whole merchandising section where all our products are displayed. The brand ethos is all about hand sculpted. It's all about having knurling on the handles. It's about design. It's about finish. And this collection really embodies all of that. And so again, it's the chemistry between the understanding of the brand and what what do we want to portray from that brand that this collection absolutely brings forward. I think the Grace line is one of my favorite collections, and we've got the entire bath collection, like you so rightly said, as well as, so we decided to take it into the kitchen, because why wouldn't we bring something so artistic into the area of your home that you spend the most time in? I mean, the kitchen is the hub of, it's the heart of the household. And so we want to bring, beautiful design into that space as well. So it's really, I think this collection by far embodies the chemistry of the relationship. And I can't wait to see what else we can do in the future.
I think I'm probably sat in the wrong seat here because I'm a little bit out of sequence, but so I'll defer again to Andrew. But I think the next three pictures, what I'd like to see, those images of Andrew's story and his creations have instilled a passion and that I had almost lost from the kitchen industry. And for someone that's been in it for so long, it's been so reinvigorating to work with someone that is so creative.
Thanks, Dale. So the selection of images up here come from various things I've done rather than the current brand and the product line. But the thing to mention about the images up here, the first one there is a from the current collection, current brand, which is Cabbonet, our partnership. And the unique thing about this brand, I came from a very bespoke millwork, sort of high-end millwork background with our team studio, creating unique pieces, one-off pieces, and creating concepts for various brands and licensing as well, for folks around kitchens and closets. This particular one, the brand vision for Cabbonet was to create a system-based product which keeps the pricing down, like Boffy, Boltop, Polk & Pole, Somatic, those types of brands. So a catalog-based product allowing other people to specify it easily rather than going through the specification process with mill workers, but with a huge selection of materials, and it encourages, it's all about eclecticism and mixing finishes. So up here you've got stone panels, wood veneer, chevron in bleached walnut, bronzed door frames, sliding stone tops, ribbed, bleached, ribbed dyed wood. On that island, one top goes one way and one's the other, so it sort of opens up to create seating all around it, So the idea is that it's a system product and it's all about the surfaces, finishes, and materials, which is why it's targeted to design-based designers and design-based studios, So, that's this one is one of the more high-end projects that are from our Epoch collection that we created 2-3 years ago that we licensed to my other brand, Lansering, that I've sold now, and is an our team product. So this was a higher end brand, more like a mill worker, but super detailed and precision based. So you can see I love mixing different elements in a space. That's the backbone of the sort of the brand. So here you can see 1, 2, 3. So right over in the back, you can see our sliding woven mesh screen that many of the designers here might have seen around. There's another image of that coming up soon. Can you go back one? Yeah. Can you go back one? Sorry. Anyway, in that space there was 5 elements forming one space. A scullery table with 1920s lead crystal drawers set into it from the original Frankfurt kitchen, which broke all the rules about how kitchens are used back in the 20s. There was an island with a sheet of metal that created a seating area. We called that the oilcloth island because it was like an old sort of oilcloth thrown over the table, but it happened to be a piece of marble sitting over a piece of metal, and the idea of the metal going all the way to the floor and the marble stopping short like it was draped. And being able to do that. And these were all, as a sort of brand that was totally bespoke, these were all starting points for designers or for clients, for us to then pick up the elements and details they like and develop. So, but again, that's all about finishes. And then the other product in the background, which is the glass vitrine, you'd see on our website, we created a whole corner opening door with mitered glass and special milled hinge, to make that happen with the weight. And this one was from our first encounter together, the fourth wall, and we had a series of 6 glazed elements, which were, and that was a humidity-controlled food storage in the middle of a room that at the touch of a button shifted to black surface, so you just had the black and the brass. So this is when electrochromatic elements hadn't really been used in kitchens or spaces, so you could so it was the idea of food as art. It was a collaboration with Electrolux Grand Cuisine, who do the big blast chillers and things as well, and the glass could shift from solid to clear. You could switch it on and off when you'd finished dining. There was a scullery, a wine room, various elements in the space. So that was a reimagination of the early kitchen, but for a contemporary Pog and Pole audience, So, yeah. And that one there, again, is the sliding mesh screen, which has become something that I've continued to use. The chevron, but in chevron pattern, which, again, I use a lot. Then we created a hanging bracket inside the cabinet there, with a sort of formed brass strap. And the most beautiful thing about that, you can't see from that image, it might be on our Instagram.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. On the far end, there was a chopping block we carved out of a solid tree, a block of wood that we found, and we had to inset the brass ties to hold it together, and then we created an opening in the end for vegetable baskets, so that faces back towards the mesh. So the Cabbonet brand, which is our current, experience is all about taking all these sort of elements and my aesthetic, which a lot of it's based on lighting, materials, finishes, color, and I've been educating, the partnership here is educating Neil, turning that look and that feel into a catalog product, and yeah.
I'd love to jump
Very beautiful.
in there with something, and in the power of partnerships, it's about meeting people. And I remember I went to London to the fourth wall when that's where I met Andrew. And I remember coming home so inspired. And so it's all about inspiration. It's all a part of why are we doing this. It's to be inspired and to inspire. And that's how our clients are inspired. Our partnerships are a portion of that. And in the end, it's our partnerships as a community. And so, and now here I am sitting with you on stage, and we've been talking about projects. And I've worked with Neil for a very long time as well with Pog and Pole. And so it's also a small world. So the partnerships aren't far away. The partnerships are about injecting yourself into the community, your design community, and really doing what you do best.